cold outside.
So cold. I know.
Ridiculous.
And it takes it out of you. Like the energy that you need to have your body go through that. I don't know what it is, but when I get home when it's this cold, it's like I can't do anything.
Vegas, should we be okay with these two complaining when they are able to basically walk to and from work when we all have to drive hours to get to work here? I'm just
You're driving hours in a car, sir.
That's right. I want
You're in a car that presumably has a heater.
Yeah.
So you're good.
With my car?
Yes. Your car ain't that old. We drove to the airport several times. Your car ain't that old, sir.
It's old. I'm just saying.
It's old, but it ain't that old. You got heat and you got air conditioning.
That's right.
Stop yourself.
All right. I'm just saying. And I had to. Nuno was on the phone with me this morning. I got into basically an almost car accident with snow.
I heard a big bang this morning when we were on the phone. I was a little worried. I thought you fell or something. You're like, I think I hit something.
Seriously, because, well, you live around here. Not to give out your address, CC, but so on the sides of the roads where there's the street parking, they did it. New York City did a great job of clearing the roads. But in order to clear the roads of the snow, they have to put the snow somewhere. And it's so cold, brick level cold, the snow's not melting.
So you have mountains of snow.
Yeah.
In the parking spots.
Yeah.
So I'm like smacking into the snow because I can't get a parking spot because half the parking spots are taken by snow. And I don't mean an informer. God, that was so bad. I even thought that was terrible.
As in the song?
I don't know. What level of fine should that be? Because that's not a typical.
And I don't mean Eric Snow, Percy Snow, Al Snow.
That's not a typical fine. That is.
Here's something
is
we need
so
to.
bad.
Here's something we need to address. He's been racking up these fines. He's paid none of them.
No.
Okay?
That's not true. That's not true. I put 20 in that time. That's not true.
You have
Yeah, but you
exceeded
can't
20.
just have this rolling toll and then just throw in $20 periodically and think it covers all the fines,
I
sir.
just also gave you Snow the rapper, then I gave you Al Snow the wrestler, Percy Snow the football player, Eric Snow his brother the basketball player. I gave you a lot of good Snow.
Eric Snow was on season 1 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
No, he wasn't.
His then wife Deshawn Snow.
Are you being serious?
I swear to God, and it's one of my favorite Housewives moments of all time. You'll love this, Cece, as a Bravo fan. She threw this big charity event called the Diamond Gala to raise money for charity. And then after the event, she's sitting there with Eric Snow, and he's like, "How much did you make for the charity?" And she's like, "We actually ended up paying $30,000. Like, we lost 30 grand."
What? Eric Snow was on a reality, like the defense, like the 3-and-D kind of, not 3,
Yes.
but defensive-minded point guard?
Yep.
Yes. And he was
Wow.
like, "Wait, so it's out of my pocket for 30K?" She's like, "Yep."
Wow. All right.
They
so
were
there
one
you
and
go.
done. They were one and done, but they made a big impact.
That is stunning. Anyway, all right, so we'll keep you updated
Forever
on the
in the
tennis.
Diamond Gala.
The other day, as we sat here watching Alcaraz, we were so distracted because he was so dominantly good. So we will do our best not to get distracted by Joker and Sinner right now because they're obviously dominant as well. Yesterday, I mentioned in Buffalo, you heard the audio coming back there. They had the introductory press conference with their new head coach, who's their former offensive coordinator, in Joe Brady. And here is what their new head coach had to say about the interview process and his vision for the team.
The realness that he has, I've been able to live it in the quarterback room for the last 3.5.
It was an extremely intense interview. And look, Josh Allen was stoic in it. Like I made sure I didn't talk to him for a week, which was, I'm at edge, but he was making sure that he was removed from it. And everybody in that room, I was appreciative of the professionalism, right? The premise of the interview was making sure that I was able to kind of talk about, not use it as a, hey, these are things that I would change. It's more of, this is what I would do as a head coach, and this is the vision that I'm looking to do here. I think a lot of times we think that, hey, when you take over a place, you just have to change a lot. Sometimes it's just fine-tuning some things. But without getting into the details of the privacy of some of our conversations, I really want to make sure that our mentality, all right, and the vision that we're going to with the connection and the love and the communication is at the forefront.
So Joe Brady yesterday, the whole day, guys, like he goes on McAfee noon until 3 Eastern on ESPN. It's a fun interview. Brandon Beane pops up behind him, the general manager. Josh Allen pops up behind him, the star quarterback. All day I got the feeling, and maybe I'm nuts, this is what they all wanted. This is kind of like, oh, finally we can get what we wanted here. McDermott gave us enough ammo to get rid of him. Am I nuts to take this all in that way?
Oh, it felt like McDermott was the fall guy, for sure.
No, but
No.
then I'm not
He's
communicating
saying that
properly.
Josh Allen called the code red. Like they
Yeah.
all wanted to out Sean McDermott out of the organization.
And they had no way of doing it.
He was the agitation. And you know this from being an employer and an employee in your history of working in this business, Evan. Sometimes in certain environments, there can be a certain amount of workplace tension. And the collective can identify the one individual as the genesis of all of that tension. And there is this sigh of relief once that person is out of the building. Doesn't necessarily mean that the work product is going to be better. It just means that everybody is more comfortable.
That is a great way of looking at it.
It certainly
You're right.
felt like that yesterday and watching that press conference. And the thing that I couldn't get past is Brandon Beane and Joe Brady channeling their inner stepbrothers from John Riley and Will Ferrell. I mean, down to the outfits. Both of them wore dark blue suits, white shirts, red tie, Bill's lapel over their heart, and the brown shoes.
Yep.
Both of them emphasized alignment. As a matter of fact, Brandon Beane used the word twice in a 10-second clip. Joe Brady used it multiple times. And then, of course, Evan's all-time favorite, collaboration, came out yesterday, too.
Saw that.
So when I'm putting all of this together, I don't know that it leads to exactly what the Buffalo Bills are looking for in terms of a team that's looking to get over the hump. What they did was make everybody in the building much more comfortable, including the quarterback. And we'll see what that's worth. But clearly the move to get rid of Sean McDermott was a move to make the quarterback and all others more comfortable.
Yes.
And I don't know that what they're looking for, the evolution of Josh Allen, the growth of this team, is going to be in the comfort zone that they have now created for the 2026 season and beyond.
Yeah, let me clarify, because when I say it felt to me like that love fest yesterday firmly made Sean McDermott the fall guy, I mean, they're saying he was the problem, it's not us. Because Brandon Beane, a part of these disappointing seasons, he gets promoted. Joe Brady, a part of these disappointing seasons, he gets promoted. Josh Allen, a part of these disappointing seasons, he's sitting in on the interviews and very influential in the decision. Ownership obviously isn't going anywhere. So basically, all of these people are telling you everything was great except for that. Because we're keeping it in the lane of continuity. We are in alignment with one another. That person was the outlier. And that's how we're going to get over the hump, is by removing him from the equation. And it's just very confusing to me, because when Terry Pegula had that initial press conference, he made it seem like the results were not good enough and there was a sense of urgency. And then after the moves were made and you listen to the press conference and you see how happy they all are together, it doesn't seem like that same sense of urgency exists. It doesn't seem like there was these massive issues that needed to be overturned. I don't know. The whole thing is very confusing to me. And Joe Brady may be an excellent head coach. He may be the guy. But I don't know how you can sit there and say that it wasn't what needed to happen when you're basically keeping all the same pieces in place.
Let's hear from the quarterback, Josh Allen, about what stood out about Joe in Buffalo.
The realness that he has, I've been able to live it in the quarterback room for the last 3.5, 4 seasons. He's a real human that guys can get behind and understand and play for. I thought in his interview, the vision that he had for this team, and again, I'm sitting in these interviews and I'm not the one making the decision, right? I'm there to inquire, to learn, to bring a different perspective to the decision makers that were in that room, and taking personal out of it and taking the emotion out of it and trying to look at it from a logical lens. It was a unique perspective. It was a cool learning experience for me.
This whole thing is really interesting because now it feels like Josh Allen has taken over in a way that Joe Burrow had taken over in Cincinnati, where now there's GM responsibilities.
Feels like that's the theme this offseason, right? Quarterbacks taking over. John Harbaugh got ousted from Baltimore, and the word on the street was because relationships had frayed in that building, particularly when it comes to the players. Well, what's the relationship that matters the most? The quarterback. It feels like much of the same with the Buffalo Bills. And since we're focusing on Joe Brady, I think that has to be front and center. This is the person that Josh Allen wanted. This is the head coach that he signed off on. So there has to be a different level of accountability when we start judging Josh Allen moving forward. Now, to his credit, earlier in the week, he took responsibility for, the reason why they were having this press conference yesterday, which is the fact that he played poorly in the divisional round game against the Denver Broncos. If he